Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out with Frank Warren, promoter of a huge event, December the 1st, Tyson Fury against Deontay Wilder, out in the States, but we're having a press conference here in London today at Stratford. Just tell us why this is the biggest fight of the year so far, or the biggest fight of the year full stop as it's coming in December.
You've got a lineal champion coming back who never lost his belts in the ring in Tyson Fury, who's, 27-0, and then you've got the 40-0 champion, WB champion, who's never been beaten, was the guy that Anthony Joshua wouldn't fighting each other. And it's a proper heavyweight fight. Two undefeated guys, top of their game. It's going to make a great fight.
Why do you feel Tyson, you know him quite well now, was willing to step up for this fight in a way that Joshua clearly wasn't?
I think with Tyson, first of all, he's been there, hasn't he? He's done it. And you look at his credentials, this is a guy that went off to Klitschko's backyard, went to Germany where he was based, 54,000 people, and took him to school and got his title. The original plan was to have 3 or 4 comeback fights. He's had 2. And he just said, I'm ready for this. I want to do it. And what's given me confidence in Tyson, winning this fight and making the fight, is the confidence he's got in it. He's so confident of winning. He really thinks he's got Deontay Wilder's number. And I think you're going to see a totally different fight than people expect. It's going to be quite interesting.
In your opinion, are these the 2 very best heavyweights in the world today?
Well, they're the two the way you find out who's the best heavyweights in the world is to fight each other. These 2 heavyweights, who are out of the 3 best heavyweights in the world, are willing to face each other. And the winner of this fight will be the best heavyweight in the world, because the best are fighting the best.
How confident are you that the winner of this fight will end up fighting Joshua to finally settle that dispute over who is the top man?
Well, if you listen to Barry Hearn, it'll be never, because Barry Hearn said in his own words, he doesn't care whether he fights Wilder or anybody for 2 years or 10 years. He's in the game. He's got a 7-year game plan, and that 7-year game plan is all about making money, which I get is professional boxing, but it seems not taking risk on the way. But done talking about Joshua now. Let's talk about what's really important was these 2 guys who are facing each other, and you've got to take your hat up to Tyson Fury yet again. He's going to the other guy's backyard.
Would you have liked Tyson to have had another warm-up fight first in an ideal world? In
an ideal world, yes. But having said that, as I say, he's up for it, and he gives me. One thing about Tyson, for all the antics and all the, the crazy stuff here and now, he's a very intelligent guy, and he's a student of boxing, and he knows his boxing, and he works styles out. And he's a very difficult guy to fight, and he's done everything that's been asked of him. He fancies this fight, and that for me is a big plus.
When you see things like him putting out on Twitter saying, I'm going to go toe-to-toe with him in the middle of the ring, we assume it's mind games, but if it's not, does that concern you a little bit that he could throw his game plan out the window?
No, because I think look, everybody he's fought, he's beat him in different fashions, like we mentioned earlier, or I mentioned earlier about Klitschko. Look what he did with Derek Chisora. Forget the first fight. He was only a kid when he fought him, and when Derek, was overweight and that. But the second fight, Derek was coming off of about 5 good wins, fighting good quality opponents, and he'd done a job on him. I mean, Derek didn't win a second of any rounds. And then you sort of fast forward, you watch Derek fighting Dylan White, you look at Dylan White fighting Joshua, and you look for some sort of form line, and look at the way he handled those fights. People say about, you think that Tyson's just an awkward fighter, he doesn't punch. He can bang. Go and ask Derek. He took Derek apart that night, and he's a quality operator. And he's lost all that weight. He's not now training to make weight. He's training to fight. And as I say, from his perspective and the fact that he wants to go into the other guy's backyard, he's willing to go to the States, says a lot about him and a lot about his confidence in his own ability.
I have to ask you about your recent radio performance. I think from the feedback of most fans out there, you won that one via stoppage over poor old Barry Hearn. Just tell us what kind of provoked that in the first place. Did you expect him to come on as well?
No, he knew I was coming on. I mean, if you listen to the interview, actually, Gary Richardson says to him, well, you knew Frank was coming on. Yeah. I didn't know he was going on. Nobody told me that, so not that it bothers me. I have no problem with that. I didn't know that. It's straightforward stuff. It's obviously there's a bit of banter going on, but when it comes down to talking the old BS, Barry's got degrees in that, and we just, you flush him out. He does not want these fights. They'll do all they can to not make these fights. They don't want to kill the cash cow.
Do you feel you exposed him a little bit, or at least the business plan behind Matchroom and Joshua?
Well, I think he exposed it himself with the interview that he did for one of the magazines or one of the websites. 2-3 weeks ago, he actually said that himself. And that's it. And Barry's the one who pulls all the strings as far as Anthony Josh is concerned. He's the guy that does the business, and that's how it is. But as I say, you can talk about that till the cows come home and speculate about it, and whatever happens. This is happening. This fight is not about ducking out. This is not about not agreeing. We agreed terms for this fight like that. It was very short, sweet, done. You know why? Money was right, and they both wanted it. So we made it happen, and that's what should happen at this level.
Big show, obviously, at the Staples Centre. So, twofold question about that. One, do you expect it to sell out? And two, are any of your other British fighters going to be on the undercard?
I'm sure it'll sell out. I've had a lot of applications for people to go from this, for tickets to go from over here to go out there, and of course there'll be some Brits on there.
Any idea who at this stage?
No, not yet. We want to get this one out of the way, and then we'll sort the undercard out then. But it's going to be a great night, and obviously if you can't get to see it, you can watch it on BT box office. It will be a great night. Look at this. It's
amazing.
Pulling all the stops out here.